One of the things we wanted to cover on this show is that presentation is everything. Your stream needs to be good and engaging for your students. And I understand you're working within Google Meets or Zoom or what have you, but there are things you can do to make your streams, your production, your lessons more enjoyable and more viewable and more engaging for your students. So let's go over the do's. Let's bring this up full screen if we could. Number one is make sure you're well lit. If you're not in a well lit room, your students are going to be able to see your face and your facial expressions, so that's real important. Next, make sure your audio is clear. Audio is king. If your students can hear and understand you, it's not going to work. They're going to get frustrated. You're going to get frustrated. So audio is very clear. Important. Use multiple camera angles when possible to break up the monotony. Now, I understand a lot of you are only using the camera that's built into your laptop or your Chromebook, but we're going to go into some other options that you can do, and I'm really looking forward to showing you that. And then position your cameras to avoid glare from the smartboard or other reflective surfaces. Glare, my head gives glare, so I understand glare. And you just got to be careful to minimize the glare. And then the last one is create a background behind you that enhances your teaching. Now, we're using this fake background, virtual set kind of thing. What I'm saying is if you're a teacher, just as if you were an elementary school teacher, you want to have elementary school books or posters or stuff like that. When you're setting up the area that you're going to be teaching remote from, whether it's your school or your classroom or whether you're going to be teaching remote from your home, make sure what's behind you is engaging and welcoming to your students and not so much distracting, but showing the things and what you want to get that feel of warmth that you bring as a teacher to your classroom. Now I'm going to go over some don'ts, which are things that can really mess up your presentation if you're not on top of them. So number one, backlighting, overshining you as the subject is a real thing that people do. Now you can see on our virtual set, we have fake little windows behind me, but a lot of times I'll see people on a Zoom call or on a meeting and they'll have an open window behind them. And as a result, all you see is this bright window and everyone else gets blown out. So if you are in a room with a window, make sure you get some kind of curtains or shades so you can darken them, or better yet, change the angle of what's behind you so it's not a window. The other thing is, don't be a talking head. And I understand we're talking about where you might just be on your Chromebook and it might be difficult, but even if you're just on your Chromebook, you can step back from it so it sees more of you. You can twist it around or turn it around. That same monotonous shot of you staring at a camera that's on your computer just is not going to keep people engaged. And like that goes with this, the tip of try not to stick with only one static camera angle. Like I said, with a Chromebook or a camera, you can kind of move it like this, sitting or standing, you can move around. And the other thing to try to avoid is death by PowerPoint. Now, death by PowerPoint in the education world versus the corporate world is a little bit different. What I mean by death by PowerPoint for teachers is you can't just be showing slide after slide after slide to your students, or screens from whatever tool you're using in your textbook, and just have you be a little postage stamp in the corner or not on the screen at all. It's real important that you make sure you put yourself on the screen as often as you can. So one of my recommendations, if you're showing PowerPoints and you're doing Zoom or something and you're screen sharing your screen, after 3 or 4 screens, make sure you cut back to yourself just so you can give that warm, welcoming smile and engage with your students. Just don't go 15 or 20 minutes in a row showing PowerPoints. I think that is probably second nature to elementary school students, but I'm sure some high school students, high school teachers are going to kind of say, yeah, that's right. I do have to remember not to just show them I have this great slide deck for my science presentation or this English thing we're working on, but yeah, I need to also be able to show them my smiling face.
Thank you for watching this highlight from the Video Guys Live webinar. If you like this video or you want to learn more, check out the full webinar in our description, or head on over to videoguys.com for more information.